Hey guys, welcome to day one, week one of 21 laws, 21 days. The first law we're going to be going through, and John Maxwell's 21 irrefutable laws of leadership, is this: the law of the lid. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. Leadership ability determines a person's level of effectiveness. That is the law of the lid. And it kind of works out like this: the ability to lead is the lid that determines how far someone will go in their leadership or with their leadership. Here's how it would work: if you have a high leadership lid, you have a high potential to be able to do a lot in leadership. You see people like Steve Jobs has a high leadership lid. But on the other hand, you see someone with a lower leadership lid. Now, they could still be effective, but they have a lower leadership lid, which in essence creates a lower degree, a lower level of effectiveness, because they have a lower potential to have a high leadership ability. You could look at Steve Wozniak, who is someone who was a genius behind the entire Apple Corporation, but is seen in the shadow of Steve Jobs. Why? Because Steve Jobs has a higher leadership lid. And that law of the lid is the leadership ability that determines a person's level of effectiveness. Now, this comes down not only to their level of effectiveness, but their potential. You see, we all have a different degree of ability, but if our ability does not match our potential, then we are falling short of where our leadership lid could be. So, with that in mind, to apply the law of the lid, John Maxwell tells us we can take 4 steps. We can take 4 steps to apply this law to our life, and this could be a little rough. Now, first, this is going to require proactivity. You're going to have to become responsible for your own potential. You're going to have to be responsible for the level of leadership that you can accomplish, for the level of effectiveness that you can attain in leadership based on your potential, and knowing where your lid is and increasing and expanding your lid. And that word proactivity comes from 7 Habits of Highly Effective People by Stephen Covey, where he talks about someone has to take responsibility. Well, you have to take responsibility. You have to be proactive with your potential to increase the lid of your leadership capability. So here's 4 steps. Here's 4 steps that we see in 21 Irrefutable Laws of Leadership that John Maxwell says we should use. First, list some of your major goals, the ones that require cooperation from others. Why? Because that'll show that you can be collaborative in your efforts. That can show that you'll create a community of leadership. You can create a common purpose. These things that you need to be able to expand your lid of leadership. Second, you're going to need to assess your leadership skills. You're going to really need to dig deep and see who you are and how you lead. Third, ask others to rate your leadership on a scale of 1 to 10. And in doing so, you'll need to compare your score of 1 to 10 of yourself, that self-assessment, with their assessment of you. You'll need to compare your score with their score. Now, if you do these applications and you go through this process, you will be able to see your potential for leadership expand, your law of the lid rise, and your effectiveness and your leadership ability rise as you are proactive in your potential and you apply the law of the lid to your leadership. Thanks, guys. See you back around here for day 2 tomorrow.